What's up, everybody? Recently, there's been some action on YouTube. One of the guys I follow, really love his videos, and he's very well respected amongst the music content creator community, Rick Beato. And Rick Beato put out a video about how basically Universal Music Group is like after him. They're like trying to take down his stuff. They're threatening copyright strikes. They're like, it makes no real sense in like the grand scheme of like what content creators produce and what they do for music in general. You know, Rick does these great interviews with legendary musicians who were the creators of the music that he shares in his videos, and the label doesn't like it. They don't like that that's happening, and they're going after him. And I wanted to chime in because I have a video coming up. Like, Rick Beato's massive on YouTube, but other people have made videos about this. Jared Dines, Estepario Siberiano, who are also massive on YouTube, and I'm not massive. I have humble, I'm very appreciative of my following, 61,000 subscribers. Thank you so much, but I am not anywhere near that level of popularity. And in comparison to the talent level of these guys, I'm really not up there either. Like, Rick is a musical genius. Estepario is a workhorse on a whole nother level. Jared has been creating for years and years, doing creative, different takes on music. Like, they all have a completely different niche. I'm just a reaction guy. Like, I do this because it's easy and convenient, and it can tap into that little part of my creativity that I want to get out there. But I have a full-time job. I have a mortgage. I have 2 children. Like, I don't have time to put in the kind of work that they have. So I'm not even a blip on the radar. But I just wanted to express that, like, I do kind of think that they're going after Rick, because I have a video that I've scheduled to upload in a few days, next week sometime, and it's a reaction to music performance that's owned by Universal Music Group, and they have turned on copyright on it. I'm not eligible to claim copyright on it, and I don't usually dispute those kind of things. If I do a reaction video, there's a gray area on whether it's fair use or not. You know, I use the entire video. I don't get into disputing those very often. I see it as an opportunity to maybe earn subscribers and maybe drive more views toward my other videos that I can monetize. So I don't usually fight monetization. I'll dispute monetization or copyright claims on videos that I do think are fair use, like my Great Drumming in Unexpected Places videos, where I've used a clip of a song. I had a copyright claim on a video that played a drum fill. It was just a drum fill and like one line of the singer, and they claimed that copyright. And I disputed it, and they didn't release it. They upheld it. And so I think that video has revenue sharing, which I'm cool with. Let's share revenue. That's great. But this video that I have uploaded, I can't claim any monetization on it. And I'm not going to dispute it because it's Universal. I know it's not going to fly. And the concept of fair use maybe doesn't apply to a lot of reaction videos. I get that. But I wanted to point it out because it seems unfair that Rick would be threatened with a copyright strike and a takedown notice, and then I would still be able to use the video I want to do without a copyright strike. I'm just ineligible to monetize it. And so it kind of, like, from that perspective, it seems like they're just going after Rick. And it makes no sense because he's doing so much for their artist, for their property, and they won't even share revenue. They won't even allow him to get more subscribers and more views from that. They just want him to take it down. And it's just, I just wanted to voice that, like, no matter if we have 4 million subscribers, or we have 61,000, or we have 1,000, or 500, or 10, we all need to be aware that this is going on. And it's very frustrating for a lot of it. I personally, you know, my videos have millions of views. There's some that are over 1 million. There are many that are in the hundreds of thousands. I've not made money off of a lot of that stuff. My most viewed videos, I made $0 on. I disputed some, and they released, and I was able to then start making money. But at that point, all the bulk of the views had been long gone, and they collected their money, and I'm, you know, I don't get anything. And, you know, I don't do this for money. I don't make enough money to do this for money. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not motivated by money. I'm motivated by music appreciation and education and creativity, and just trying to show the fun and creative side of drumming. So it just makes no sense to me that they would go after a guy like Rick, who puts in so much more effort and is so much more talented and intelligent about music than I am. But then I would be allowed to just do a reaction video, and they'd be like, yeah, you can use it, but you can't monetize it. It makes no sense to me. So I don't know. I wanted to add another voice to all the voices that are coming out right now in support of Rick and other artists in the same situation, because we're all dealing with it. No matter how many subscribers we have, it just seems like they're really going after the whales. And it doesn't, I don't get it. But I just, you know, we got to have Rick's back. I have Rick's back. Every content creator that uses music and wants to shine a light on music has to deal with this in different ways. You know, people who do reactions have to deal with it. People that do interviews have to deal with it. People that do breakdown videos have to deal with it. And the debate about what's clearly fair use and what's not clearly fair use, I think that's a conversation that really needs to be solidified, and YouTube needs to come up with a policy that's clearly written, that clearly states what is fair use and what is not fair use, and then stick to it, and don't allow computers and AI algorithms to make that decision. And they need some kind of human interaction in there that can help make those decisions and help mediate between the creators and the labels that own the music. And that's kind of up to YouTube, because right now it's kind of a system where the labels can claim it and you can dispute it, but ultimately it's up to the label to decide. And there needs to be some sort of mediation going on in there, based on a clear guideline of what is fair use and what is not fair use, what is educational, what is not educational. You know, to what degree is a reaction video a fair use video? Like, is it fair use if I play the video and I'm talking over it all the time, and I'm adding my own reactions and experiences and stories and analysis as the video goes on? Or do I have to pause the video and then add my 2 cents? Do I have to edit it into pieces? If I put the video up and only have the audio, is that something different? Like, none of those things are really spelled out clearly in any way on YouTube. And legally, what are we supposed to go on? Like, fair use, as far as people know, like, what Rick does is fair use. By every metric I've looked at, what Rick Beato does is completely fair use. But that still doesn't hold up with what the labels say is allowed to be used. And then, you know, with my thing with reactions, like, it's such a gray area, and leaving it up to labels to decide, I think, is really not the way to go. We need some sort of mediation, and there needs to be some sort of clear policy. And I mean, maybe even comes down to, you know, a legal intervention where legally this is the definition and these are the parameters that allow it. But the fact that they're just, none of that is there, none of that's really there. It's just kind of this arbitrary decision to be made by the owners of the material. It just isn't working. It's not working. And now people, you know, people that have worked really hard, earned every subscriber they have, earned every bit of respect from the rest of the community, are at threat of losing everything they've built because a label can't clearly define fair use and just wants to arbitrarily make these decisions. I don't know. It's just crazy and it's weird and it doesn't make sense. I have Rick's back, and I have the back of every other content creator who does far more work than I do. They have way more of my respect for what they do than even what I do. I appreciate that they want 100% original content, but there's got to be a space for analyzing, reacting to, shining a light on all of the great performers that have come before. And that's what Rick's doing. And now he's at threat of losing it all. And I just think it's ridiculous. So just wanted to add another voice, another face in a box, to just be another person in support of Rick and against the current system that we have in place. It's not working. It needs to be updated. There needs to be clear definitions of what all this stuff is, and they need to be followed by content creators and by copyright owners. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one. I appreciate your time. Have a good one.